Wow, morena, and welcome to our second lockdown Pilates. Thanks for joining me, and if you want to do this class again, then we'll put the link up and you can access it when you want to. So today's focus, we're going to start standing up, doing some nice roll downs to ease into it this morning. I'll talk to you about the Pilates Basics again, and then we'll go in through our ab series, and we're going to do a little bit of strength and upper back as well today. So 30 minutes Pilates, let's get started. You just need a mat or a towel or some carpet. So wherever you are, hopefully you're comfortable. And you can all stand up. We're going to start with some roll downs. So I'll adjust my camera when we get down on the floor so you can see me. I might just cut my head off for now, but that's okay. All right, so standing up on the end of your mat or towel, whatever you're on, I want you to think about your feet positioning here. So we're going to plant our feet in what we call the tripod, which is where we have even weight between our little toe, our big toe, and our heels. So you can just rock back and forward and then plant those feet down and get them anchored onto the floor. Roll your shoulders down and back and imagine that you're on an imaginary wall. We're going to inhale here, tighten through our T-zone, tuck our chin, and then exhale as we roll the body down, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the floor. You can, of course, bend your knees if you need to. Just let your head drop and hang out here, feeling a nice stretch down the back of those legs. Take a few breaths. And then as we exhale, we roll our body up, bone by bone, rolling the lower back, middle back, upper back, head, shoulders back onto that imaginary wall. Each time we roll down, we're going to do something slightly different. So inhale here, and then as you exhale, roll back down. Good. Hanging out here. This time we're going to stretch the back of those legs. So inhale, exhale, straighten one leg and bend the other. Inhale, exhale, take it to the other side. Good. Inhale, exhale, bend and straighten. And keep it going, feeling a nice stretch down the back of those legs. Just give me a couple more here. And then slowly roll on up. Peeling back onto that wall. Good. Inhale here, exhale, roll the body down, tighten through the tummy. All the way down. This time, I want you to walk those hands out and then press back into a downward dog. Butts up, armpits away from ears. Trying to push your heels towards the mat. Tummy engaged. And from here, we're going to do some calf raises. So we're going to lift our leg up into a three-legged dog and then lift and lower for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 2 to go, last 1, other leg, place it down, lift, and let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, last 5, and push those heels back into our downward dog. Slowly walk those hands back towards our feet and then roll the body up. Hopefully feeling slightly warmer. And rest. Last one, we're going to go down. We won't be coming back up this time. So tuck the chin, exhale, roll the body down all the way to the floor. Notice here, have you got a little bit more of a range? You've got a little bit more flexibility. See if you can try and work towards straightening those knees. From here, we're going to walk those hands out. We're going to go into our first plank of the day. So bring your butts down. Wrists should be under shoulders. If you need to, this is a full plank. If you need to, by all means, drop to your knees. What we want to do here is just push your pubic bone towards the floor and hold that plank. So holding it here, while you're holding it, I'm just going to readjust the camera. The rest of the class will be down on the mat, so hopefully you'll be able to see me. Can you hear me all right, Tui? Can you just give me a thumbs up if you can? Perfect, okay. Good. All right, so from there, drop to our knees, push on back into our prayer, and just have a nice little stretch here. Let that head rest on your mat. And then rolling back over, and we're going to work into our abs series. So before we do, I'm just going to remind you of the Pilates Basics, for those who've never done my class before or can't remember, or just a good refresher. So firstly, let's bend our knees, have our legs about hip distance apart. Think about our shoulders here. We're going to draw them back and down, and we're going to tuck our chin and lengthen up through the crown of our head. So all our positions, we want to make sure we're drawing the shoulder blades down and back and tucking our chin. For Pilates breathing, we're going to have a little practice here. So our hands come on the sides of our rib cage. We inhale through our nose, and as we exhale, we think about drawing our ribs down towards our hips, breathing out through the mouth. Inhale here, and then exhale, draw those ribs down towards your hips. Last time here, inhale and exhale. Thinking about your spine position. So you want to keep your tailbone connected with the floor, but have a nice natural arch in our back. So we're not trying to really draw our back towards the mat. We're just keeping that natural arch. That's our neutral position. And then let's take our focus to our T-zone. So if you place your fingers on your hip bones, 2 fingers on each hip bone, we're going to tune into our lower abdominal muscles. So you stay where you are. I will kneel so I can explain. So with our T-zone, to tighten our T-zone, we're going to draw a letter T, and that refers to our pelvic floor muscles and our lower abdominal muscles. So to engage that T, we're going to lift up our pelvic floor muscles. So they go from your pubic bone all the way around to the bottom of your spine. So lift those up like you're trying to stop yourself from going to the toilet. And then with your hips, we're thinking about those muscles. We're trying to draw our hip bones in towards each other and flatten out. And then release all those muscles. Take your fingers just in from your hip bones. And then hopefully as we tighten, we feel the tension under our fingers. So lift up through your pelvic floor, draw your hips in and try and flatten out. And just check that you can feel those muscles tightening. Relax it all and feel the difference. And then tighten up again and feel them tightening up. Good. Hopefully you can feel that. So let's switch those T-zone muscles on and let's warm them up now. So that beautiful positioning that we just went through, we're going to start with lift foot today. So we're going to lift one leg up to tabletop and then lower it down. Take the other leg, lift it up to tabletop and then lower. Keeping your T-zone switched on, there should be no movement through your pelvis at all. So we're keeping it completely still, no rocking. Good. So nice and gentle, simple exercise to start with, and we will build on this. Making sure that we're still keeping our shoulder blades down and back, away from our ears, and we've got that nice chin tuck. If you struggle with tucking your chin, you can always place a little jumper or something under your head, and that will help you. The leg that's not doing the movement should be not moving at all. So just make sure that we're keeping that T-zone nice and tight, that we're nice and stable. From here, we're going to do lift and extend. So we lift the leg up, we extend that leg out, draw it back to tabletop and lower it down. Lift it up, extend, back and down. So we inhale here. Exhale on the extension, inhale to bring it back, and exhale to lower. Again, keeping that T-zone nice and tight, nice and stable through that pelvis. Good. And really light on the feet as you do the changeover from one leg to the other, wanting to make sure that there's hardly any movement going on around that pelvis area when you're doing that swap. You've got 4 more here, 2 more on each side. Last 1 on each side. Good. From here, we're going to place those hands behind our head and go into our ab curl. So as we exhale, we curl the body up and inhale to lower. As we curl up, eye gaze goes onto our knees. And we think about leading with our shoulders, not our elbows. So we curl the body up. See how I'm not bringing my elbows in? I'm keeping them all the way back. So you might find that you can't curl very far up, but that's not the purpose of this exercise. We're trying to really engage those tummy muscles and flatten out through the tummy. Thinking about drawing the ribs towards our hips. And being mindful of what our butt's doing. So we want to make sure as we curl up, we're not lifting our butt off the floor as well. We're anchoring that tailbone. If you're feeling good and you're finding this easy, what you can do is imprint your spine, which means draw your spine down towards your mat. Bring both legs up to tabletop, squeeze them together, and continue with your ab curl in tabletop. So you work to what works for you and your body and how you're feeling this Sunday morning. Good, you've got 4 to go. Last 2. Last one here. And rest back down. Good. So wherever you are, we're going to take our legs up into tabletop this time. So if you didn't do it in your ab curl, then just draw your spine towards the mat, engaging your tummy muscles. Bring your legs up to tabletop and squeeze them together. For this exercise, this is called Pendulum. We're going to bring our arms out and we're going to place, turn our palms up to the roof. So we can't cheat and push on our hands. And then from here, we're going to take these legs all the way over to one side, not all the way, but just as far as you can make sure your shoulder blades don't come off the floor. And then exhale, use your breath to bring your legs back to center. Inhale, let's take them over to the other side, making sure our shoulder blades don't come off the floor. And then exhale, use those tummy muscles in that breath to bring them back. Inhale over. And then exhale, draw them back. Good. Making sure we're drawing our shoulder blades down and back, not letting them rise up. Now, if you're feeling good and you want to take this up a notch, then the option is, as you come to one side, you lift the top leg and you come back with one extended and one bent leg. Get to the other side, lift and draw back. Good. If you're feeling good still and you want to take it up one more level, more of an advanced level here, 2 legs, keep them squeezed together and then draw back with extended legs. Okay, so choose the option and the level that suits you. Making sure whatever level you're choosing, you're squeezing those legs together, so knees together, feet together. You have 2 to go. 1 more on each side. And last one. Good. Coming back to center, lowering those legs back down and resting. We've got 2 more exercises to do in this series. So the next one's called hundreds prep. So hands come up towards the roof. Our palms are going to face down towards our knees. And then as we curl the body up, we exhale, arms brush past our legs and inhale to lower. Nice neutral spine. Exhale, curl the body up, keeping your T-zone switched on. Inhale to lower. Eye gaze on your knees. And if this feels good for you, then more advanced options to bring your legs up to tabletop, squeeze them together. And as you curl the body up, extend those legs straight up and then lower back down. Bring those arms back to the roof. Exhale and curl. Inhale to lower. Hopefully you're starting to feel a bit of heat to those tummy muscles as they start to near the end of the series. 4 to go. Last one here. And I want you to hold it up there this time and give me some little pulses here. Up and down. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, and lower back down. All right, hopefully you're feeling good. One more exercise if you can. This one gives us a little bit of a stretch. So we're going to bring our legs up to tabletop, hands on the legs, curl the body up, and then we're going to hug one knee into the chest, straighten the other leg, do a little pulse, pulse, and then swap it, pulse, pulse, swap it. Get a little stretch through the hip. So exhale, exhale on the pulse, inhale to swap. Six to go. Last one on each side. Well done, and lower back down. Hug your knees into your chest. Have a little gentle rock from side to side. And then rest those legs back down. Next up, we're just going to have a nice little bit of a stretch and work into our shoulders a little bit. So we're going to do our book openings. So have your legs bent, and then your hands, one come on top of the other. Inhale here, T-zone. Exhale, open up and extend that arm all the way back as far as you can. Inhale to reset, and exhale to close the book. Inhale, exhale, open. Feel a nice stretch through that chest and shoulder. Inhale, and then exhale to close. One more time. Exhale to open, but this time I want you to keep that arm open and feel a nice stretch, holding that position. Couple of breaths here. And then close the book. Next up is clocks. So we're going to take that arm all the way over, trying to, depending on our range of mobility through our shoulder, keeping our hand on the floor for as long as we can. If we can do it the whole way around, that's great. We'll do one more up above over our head, all the way around. And then we're going to take it the other way for 2. So trying to follow the floor, circle that arm all the way, and then one more time. Good. Now we need to swap sides. I'm going to do it all on the other side. So bring those arms out in front of you, palms on top of each other. Let's start with our book opening. So inhale here, exhale, let's open. Inhale, and then exhale to close. 2 more times. One to go, and on this one, let's hold that stretch open. Hold it here, take a few breaths. Notice if you're tighter on one side than the other. And then close the book. Into our clocks, let's take the arm up and over, trying to keep our hand on the floor the whole time as we circle around and over our bodies. One more time, up and over. And then let's take it the other way. And last time. Very good. So let's roll over onto our tummies now. We're going to go into some more strength positions. So starting with a plank and then doing some press-ups. So let's have our wrists under our shoulders. Your options here. If you do have wrist problems and you find it a bit much doing a plank on your wrist, then you feel free to come down onto your elbows. Otherwise, draw your knees back about 30 centimeters and draw your pubic bone towards the floor. So here's your half plank. And if you're feeling strong, let's go into our full plank and hold it here. Good. Let's hold for about 30 seconds. Remember, you can always drop those knees if you need to. So thinking about here that we're not in a mountain position, so our butt's not up. And we're not in a hammock where we're letting our hips go. Keeping that nice long line between our shoulders, our hips, and our feet. Thinking about drawing our ribs towards our hips. So we've got a little bit of flexion through the trunk. And breathing normally, making sure we're not holding our breath. 10 more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop back down. You can have a little bit of a stretch into prayer. And then we're going to come back up into our plank and do some press-ups. So you've got options today. If you're feeling strong, then come up into your full plank. Hands go a bit wider, about as wide as your mat. Okay, so if you're feeling strong, full plank. Otherwise, knees come down to our half plank. Or the easiest option, if you want it, is knees directly under our hips. So with our press-ups today, the breathing Pilates, we inhale for 3, 2, 1, and we exhale as we push that mat away. So we're going to aim for 10 to 15. So you do what you feel comfortable with. Have a break if you need to. So 3, 2, 1, and push it away. Good. Use your breath. Keep your T-zone tight. Tummy switched on. Good. I haven't been counting, but hopefully you have been. Looking strong there, ladies. Nice work. I'll stop when I say you stop. Good. Are we still going? Yeah, nice one. Do the 15 if you can. Excellent. Nearly there. And once you've done them, then stretch back down into your prayer position. We have just a few minutes, so just enough time to work into our upper back. So with this one, we're going to work our shoulder blades and our lower traps, okay? So if you imagine my hands are your shoulder blades, the aim of this exercise is to try and glide those shoulder blades down your back into a nice V position or V shape. So if you find a sort of a point around where I'm pointing on my back, and then think about pivoting those shoulder blades around that point. So we're going to be on our tummies. Our hands are going to be out by the sides, and we're going to start with swan prep. So lift our tummy up off the mat and push your pubic bone into the mat, and make sure that we engage the tummy muscles the whole time. Then as we come up, we glide those shoulder blades down our back, just where I kind of showed you, and then lower down. So nice gentle exercise to get us started. So inhale here as we lift, swap the breathing over with our back. Exhale as we lower. Inhale as we lift and glide. When you know what you're doing, try and keep looking straight down at your mat instead of looking up at the camera. That way we keep that nice neutral position. And we're trying to keep the rest of our lower body relaxed, okay? So we're trying to engage through the upper back to do all the work. The hands on the ground, there shouldn't be a lot of weight going through them either. They're just simply there to help us balance, but if we took them away, we'd be able to do the exercise without them as well. Last 3 here. Last one. And then we're going to do breaststroke arm press. So we're going to lift our hands off the floor this time, and we're just going to do little circles and glide our shoulder blades down and back. Really, as we bring those arms down the bottom of the circle, we're thinking about gliding those shoulder blades as much as we can, feeling the upper back doing the work. Ensuring we're looking straight down at our mat with our chin tucked. Trying to keep our glutes, they will want to squeeze a little bit, but trying to keep them a little bit relaxed. 4 to go. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Lower back down. 1 exercise left. And that is arms down by our sides. We're moving into flight. So we're going to lift and glide those shoulder blades down and back, lift our arms. And then palms are going to face the roof and then the floor. The roof and then the floor. So I'm rotating my arms through my shoulder, not my wrists. My shoulder's doing the movement. And we're feeling this one in our triceps as well as working into our back. So looking down at the mat. If you want to make it harder, lift a little higher, lift those arms a little higher, draw them in a little closer to your body. To make it easier, lower a little bit further and keep those arms low. Good. Hopefully you can feel this in your triceps. Nearly there. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one and lower. Fantastic work. The hard work is done. Let's push on back into our prayer. So push on back here and have a nice little stretch. Just got something's come up on the screen, so I'm just going to close it. All right, and so from here, we're going to tuck the toes and we're going to roll back up like we started. So push those heels down towards the floor and then just feel a nice little stretch in our downward dog. And then walk those hands back towards our feet. Keep the hands on the mat and see if you've got a little bit more flexibility in those legs as we try and straighten those legs. And then slowly roll up bone by bone. The lower back to the middle back. In comes the upper back. Roll out those shoulders. Good, big roll here. And then let's take a nice deep breath up. And release it. One more. And release. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Well done for our early Sunday morning session. I'm just going to stop the record here. So thanks for joining us.